All right, Jamal, pronouns he, him, wants to talk about finding the truth about God and having a definitive position. So
That's what we're here for, Jamal.
Yeah. What a coincidence.
How are you all doing?
Good.
I'm doing really good. I think I've said 3 answers to the show. It's like, okay, I'm getting good. Now I'm really good. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. That's a positive trajectory. That's what we want.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So before we start, we have to define our positions. I'm a Muslim. For you all, what do you define yourself? You define yourself atheist, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know if you're really atheist. Why do I say that?
Okay. I don't know that you're really a Muslim. If you're using a phone right now, Jamal, you probably couldn't be a true Quranic-based Muslim. I feel confident. So let's just, instead of saying stupid, mean things like that, let's just lay out our positions, right?
No,
like we could both go back and forth.
I'm not criticizing you.
I mean, you just said that you don't think that we're atheists, which is just a really weird thing to say to start off a good conversation. So I think we can start this all over again. Hey, folks, we got Jamal, him from California, wants to talk about God and having definite positions. Hey, Jamal, how are you today? Jmike and I are doing swell.
Well, you know what? Okay. So first of all, I'm going to talk about just my belief in terms of God exists. So for you, what would show you that God exists? What kind of proof would you want?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
You want
I would
in your face
want something in the exact same epistemological framework that I do when it comes to everything else that I accept as true.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't use a different system.
You want to be able to see. You want to be able to see God. You want to be able to see. Correct?
Nope. I didn't say any of that. I don't see cells. I don't see atoms, but I accept that they exist.
Right, but you want to be able to see something that tells you, you know what, there is God.
No,
some kind of proof.
What?
You need proof.
I need proof.
Yeah, I don't think Rarity is going to shy away from the methodology that we're saying. You can give some. I did at the beginning of the show an abductive. That's not going to prove anything, right? It's just going to show why I have reasons to think it's true over the other. You could do a deductive thing. With a deductive argument, right? Some a priori argument or something like that, which is supposed to guarantee the conclusion of the truth of the guarantee the truth of the conclusion if the premises are true and it's a formally valid argument. Or you could have some type of novel predictions, right? That seems to be the best, is have predictive expectation given your hypothesis. So there's options.
Same stuff I use for everything else.
Do you have? Let's start with one. Does the God hypothesis make any novel predictions?
Well, the way I look at it, like I do research and I want something that I feel.
Well, that was a question. That was a question. Does the God hypothesis, under your view, make novel predictions? What I mean by novel is like new predictions in the future, predictive expectation and success. Right. Does your view do that?
I mean, in the Quran, we have that. We have a lot in the Quran.
Name one. Name one in the Quran.
So
name one.
Predictions. First of all, like to answer that, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We could look at things that happened in the past that were predicted that they ended up
like what? Are you going to talk about the high buildings? Are you going to talk about tall buildings? Like what? Give us the example, Jamal.
Embryo. I'm talking about the embryo. I'm talking about
embryo. Oh my gosh.
So you're saying, just so that I'm clear, you're saying
the worst one to
that
do.
right now, the biological understanding for how an embryo starts to exist is that it forms as a blood clot from semen that comes from between the backbone and the ribs. That's what you're using as your example. I just want to make sure, not even close to criticizing it yet, Jamal, just genuinely want to know if that's what you're saying is your example.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. And that part has been...
The Quran says an embryo starts from a blood clot and that semen comes from between the backbone and the ribs.
I'm not
is
even
that true or false?
I'm talking
you
about
said embryology, right?
No, but I'm talking about the forming of the fetus is described in the Quran.
Yeah, I'm going to read...
coming from a blood clot.
All right.
I'm not even talking about that part.
I'm gonna. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to mute you. I was gonna mute you. Can you give the verse?
Yeah, give the surah an ayah.
Do your research. Do your research on that. Do your
I
research.
have it pulled. I have it pulled up
Aya.
in front of me right now. I want to make sure it's the one that you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
But like I said, that part, sir, is at that time. I mean, for even today, like you would need an electromagnetic microscope to actually see it.
All right, Jamal, I have muted you.
Yes.
I'm going to read it.
Yes.
We created man from an extract of clay. Then we made him as a drop in a place of settlement firmly fixed. And then we made him a drop into what's I can't pronounce, but a leak-like structure. And then we made the leech-like structure into a chewed-like substance, right? Which has been referred to as looking like chewed up gum, is what some people have referred to it as. Then we made the mud guy. I apologize. Into bones, and then we clothed the bones with flesh, and then we caused it to grow into another creation. Yeah. Is this the verse
the one
you are referring to? Yes or no? Please be honest. Yes or no?
That's the one I'm talking about. But
cool.
What I'm
saying so
is
nothing secular. So nothing secular said was wrong then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All of that it just laid out is flat out incorrect. Like it's obvious. But
do you realize that part is totally different than you were talking about between? I know that verse too, but you were mentioning.
So, in fairness, Jamal, because I'm a big believer in admitting when somebody says something that is incorrect. And so I'm going to do this as a demonstration and model, and then I'm going to unmute you and I'm going to watch to see how you behave. So the specific surah and ayah about the blood clot is not that specific surah. You are correct. Both 100% exist in the Quran. Okay. So both are wrong, but you're right, Jamal. I actually did point out another mistake in the Quran instead of the one that you're bringing up. Would you like to take an opportunity to admit that the thing that Jmike read doesn't do the thing that you said it does, or?
That's not, how's that incorrect?
How is it incorrect? It literally says it made people from clay, dude. Like, are you pretending, or?
Doesn't resemble a chewed up gum like substance.
Yeah, not in the slightest.
Doesn't come from the backbone. Doesn't form clothing the bones with flesh. Right. None of this is right. If you just ask an embryologist, like, I mean, I don't know, dude, just type it into GPT chat. Be like, hey, does the Quran get the embryology right? And it'll do the thing that does, well, this is a debate among religious and theological beliefs. It tries to cater around that. At the very end, it'll be very clear to you, because I had to do this the other day when I was like, talking with a Muslim who was all about GPT chat giving answers. And I said, oh, I'll use your source and I will show this. And it says it. It's like, yeah, it doesn't. It's very inconsistent with the scientific or modern scientific understanding.
And we started this whole discussion with a novel thing. Nothing in there was novel to begin with. Okay. Nothing in there was novel to begin with. And then on top of that, it's just wrong. Like, that's the problem that you're dealing with right now.
Okay, can I talk?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's amazing to me how, like, when I call, call station, different talks, podcasts, and all that, and I'm told.
Are you going into the
and for some
reason, I know you. This is silly. Look, I'm sorry, but we're. Look, I just have to say this, Jamal. If you truly have read the Quran, then you know about the angels sitting on your shoulders right now that are writing down every bad deed that you're doing. And you know the pain and torture that Allah will inflict upon you, because if you cannot convince me to follow the word of Allah, that is your sin. That's your sin, Jamal. That's what it says. So why not give yourself a better place in heaven? Ramadan is over and you cannot get bonus points for a whole nother year. So come on, stop pretending and stop, just freaking dancing around this. Jmike and I are going to be tortured in hell for eternity under Allah's view. And guess what? You will be there too, unless you can provide some evidence to convince us, because our sins are yours now. That is in the Quran. So let's go, dude. Give us something Don't just I call into shows and blah blah blah. Like, just give us something.
We don't care about the meta.
Yeah,
it's not
come
interesting.
on.
Right. But can I? Okay. So here's what I'll tell you all. That part, it's. I've yet to hear a contradiction that's been officially recognized as
We
false.
just gave you
all
one.
of this of seeing angels and God, none of it could be proven false. None of it. So
we have strong inductive evidence that it's false, right?
Yeah. I hope for your sake, Jamal, I hope for your sake it's freaking wrong. Because again, what I just said is accurate. What I said is right. The reason that you are also going to receive torture and punishment after you die is the same reason that I will. And it's because both of us have gone against the word of Allah. You, as a supposed believer, took this opportunity to allow Jmike and I to sin more. And those sins are on your head. And when your body comes to life in the afterlife, and when the Quran itself comes to life and starts testifying against you, that'll be on you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't even get to a serious point about this belief system because you're not actually doing anything right now. And Jmike and I genuinely want to do this. We are excited to have these discussions. We do not talk about Islam as much on this show as I personally would want to. I think it's a fascinating system of belief. But here we are with an opportunity, with a chance for you to get a better place in heaven. And you choose not to. And I just don't understand, Jamal. Like, just get to something. Just come back on and just say, hey, here's the reason I think proves the existence of my thing. That's it. That's all we want. That's not difficult.
Let me correct you. There has yet to be proven anything that's proven false about the Quran. There's yet to be any.
So once again, you're allowing Jmike and I to do more, and Allah will continue to punish you and torture you for all of eternity. I'm so sorry for that, Jamal. The good news is that system probably is bullshit. But that's your system. You're the one that's failing in it. And that just frustrates me.
In Islam, everybody's responsible for themselves. I don't have to overpreach.
That's not true. That is flat out not freaking true. You absolutely know. You are either being flat out dishonest or you have never read through the Quran. You absolutely know the Quran places other people's burdens on you. It abso-freaking-lutely does. And that's the reason that Allah put those two angels on your shoulder, is to make sure that you're constantly adhering to the system that he laid out. And again, instead of taking the opportunity to just provide us with something, you took the opportunity to make some BS apologist argument where you're just twisting crap around again, dude. Like, if you don't think that's true, fine. Fuck it. Move the fuck on, man. And just actually do the thing that you supposedly claimed that you were going to do. Because otherwise what you're doing is you're taking up space for another person that could engage with us honestly. You're taking up space from somebody like Kevin, a person where we can actually have good progress with, and we'll just bite the freaking bullet on both sides. Jmike and I did that. Kevin did that. So let's do that, man. Like, has anything in the Quran ever been proven false? Fuck it, dude. I'll give you all your toys. We'll just say no, that it hasn't. Now just prove it. Now just actually prove it true. That's what we're looking for.
There's like two kind of issues, Jamal. Like, one's going to be if something is wrong, if you hold this claim. I've said this on the show when some Muslims have called in where they're like, hey, well, like, what do you think about Islam? Or like, what do you think about it being proved false? Or I'm like, well, I always kind of say I wish I would do more as I do with like New Testament studies and stuff like that. And I'm getting more into that. But it's Muslims that come to me and say, nothing can be wrong about the Quran. Like, there couldn't be a single error. And when you make that claim and then we point it out to you, what ends up happening is, well, no, it doesn't prove it. It doesn't. Well, first off, we're using science, strong inductive case that it's wrong. That's what we're looking for, right? You have a book says a thing versus independent actual studies and evidence that we're doing. And then Rarity is realizing that what you're doing is just, you're not going to accept that. You're still going to say it's not without error. And so now he's going to give you all the toys to play with. and present some actual evidence. Because the fact that me and Rarity could, just for the sake of the argument, agree that all of the like scientific claims were correct, it doesn't logically follow that Islam is true. Right. It just doesn't logically follow. It would be like saying like, yeah, go ahead. I mean, but yes, do you have any? Do you actually have anything to provide?
Yeah. Okay. You want legitimacy. You want people to see you as legitimate. People or the viewers to see you as legitimate.
I don't want more books as a thing. That's all.
I know, but why are you bringing this information that I need to preach to people when I have this angel, or else I'm going to go to hell if I don't?
Are you not a Muslim, Jamal? I mean, if you're not a Muslim, that's fine. But honestly, again, I'll say this, and I'll say this so fucking clear. I hope for your sake, Jamal, that your system is fucking wrong. I hope that for your sake. And the reason that I hope that is because you are doing such a piss poor job, and your all-powerful deity is going to punish you for that. Now, again, I feel pretty confident that all of that is bullshit. Okay. But again, for your sake, you better hope it's not real, because you've done a terrible job. And it's frustrating because I don't like getting heated like this. But I get heated when we're having a conversation that actually has some nuance and specificity to it. And two individuals are on the opposite sides of that nuance and specificity. And one side is genuinely coming and saying, I'll put all my cards on the table, you look at them, and let's discuss together. And the other side wants to just hold their freaking cards to themselves and pretend that it's not the case. And it's just like, dude, like, we're here.
I wasn't going to interrupt your beautiful rant, but I had to drop him because I just felt like
fair.
the circle of not actually getting anywhere with that was.
I got a little heated. And that's
no,
fine.
You're fine. I just when the response comes back and then I ask a question or say something and he wants to go back to the thing you said a little while ago. It's like this isn't going to be productive if you're not going to focus on the content. So I do